ICANN Imekiko. Dialogue between Rudy Vanek and Garth Bruen and a registrar. Session called Registries, Registrar, and the Abuse of Domains. Enjoy.
Question for this gentleman, and sorry, I will identify myself. I'm Robert Hall. I'm the CEO of Momentous. Of the 38,000, I think it was actually more, 38,000 bad Who Is registrations you found, and of the knowledge you claim to have about registrars being drug dealers, drug traffickers,
that's not what I said.
Terrorists, and I'm surprised you didn't kitty pornographers, because that's always good to inflame. How many of these did you report to ICANN through the system they've set up to report exactly that, and how many steps did you take to help correct them?
Every single one, sir.
So all 70,000 were reported to ICANN?
Every single one, sir.
And how many have been corrected?
It's difficult for me to tell. A lot of them haven't, and that depends on the registrar.
So you have reported them. Most of them have been corrected. Is that
no?
correct?
I didn't say that most of them have been corrected. I'm saying that some of the registrars actually have been issued breach notices, and some of the registrars have lost their accreditation.
Two have, as I recall in your presentation.
Actually, there was a third one, Parava, I mentioned at the end, which was today. Actually happened last Friday. I can understand you're coming from the registrar's viewpoint. I'm not claiming that the registrars...
Well, I'm coming from an industry that has done everything it can, including
negotiating
with ICANN a new RAA, which you seem to gloss over. We've been working for 2 years to get a new RAA that does allow ICANN to enforce. I can tell you that ICANN's enforcement and compliance is stronger than it ever has been. And you seem to gloss over these things, and it saddens me that you seem to be on the outside screaming as opposed to actually helping to fix the process. Because I can tell you there's a lot of registrars that are at this meeting that are actually working with ICANN trying to fix the process. So we'd like to get rid of the bad actors as much as you would. But it certainly isn't the majority of us, and you try and tar and feather all of us, and oh my God, the entire domain industry is propped up by drug pushers.
No,
it's a ludicrous statement.
No, it's not a ludicrous statement, because I identify the minority of registrars who have a problem. And I identify the specific problems within those spheres. Okay, your name was not up there, and I commend you for that.
Well, and here I am defending my competition because I know them, and I certainly know the principles of ENOM and have for years. And I assure you, they're not involved in the drug trade, and they're not terrorists. And they are working within the ICANN structure, and in fact leading the way with ICANN to try and solve some of these problems. The last thing we as registrars want is to see our customers harmed.
All right, I acknowledge, first of all, that this is initially a customer problem, a registrant problem. But when the registrar fails to act on information that's been provided, it then becomes a registrar problem. And if the registrars are accepting money from people they know are involved in illicit drug trade, then it's up to the consumer to decide what side of the fence they're on.
Fair enough, but I can assure you that none of the registrars that are at this meeting that I'm aware of, and I've known for years, would knowingly accept money from someone they knew that was a criminal. That just isn't reasonable. These are businesses. These are huge businesses. Some of them public companies.
So companies have never taken money from criminals?
No, I'm saying companies knowingly don't take money from criminals.
Companies have never knowingly taken money from criminals?
I know of no registrar that has.
But you're making a broad statement about companies.
Yes.
And you're telling me that companies have never knowingly taken money from criminals?
I know of no registrars that are involved in criminal activity that attend these meetings and are trying to work with ICANN towards bettering in this whole industry. Because you know what? If we can get rid of the bad actors, it improves everybody. It improves the registrars' relationships with their customers, and it should make customers safer.
And why would I get letters back?
Trying to tar and feather us all doesn't help us.
Why would I get letters back from registrars saying we're not shutting off this unlicensed pharmacy that's selling controlled substances?
Oh, sorry. Wait a minute. Now you're arguing about. Oh, I remember this argument. Yes. So a pharmacy that might be licensed in Canada but isn't in the U.S. is breaking the law in the U.S. Therefore, the registrar, wherever they may be, should shut them down because they might be breaking the law somewhere.
These examples have no license anywhere.
Do they need one? It's not the
they
registrars.
Absolutely do.
Are they complying with the registrar's agreement and with ICANN's agreement?
No, they're not, because their Who Is records are false.
So let's update the Who Is records. There's a procedure to do that.
Well, I've shown you examples where the Who Is records are not updated. They're blank. They've been replaced with more fraudulent information, and they've been reported falsely as suspended.
Well, actually, what you've shown is records that you reported that you said you have to be able to trace whether they actually got fixed or not. So, you can keep throwing stones at us, or you can try and fix the problem.
No,